Singapore is famous for being a global financial center, being among the most densely populated places in the world. Their airport alone is world-class with a waterfall and a botanic garden that is a World Heritage Site. In this video, we will be giving you 10 exceptionally smart moves that Singapore has done. You'll have to watch this to find out why other countries are in awe and amazed at this wonderful city-state despite its small size compared to others. Welcome to Socialuxe. Our goal is to provide you with a dose of luxury, travel, houses, cars, and stories of successful people so you can be inspired to live an abundant, beautiful, and successful life. We upload videos weekly, so make sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and feel free to comment any questions you may have down below. Enjoy! Number 1. Great leadership. Lee Kuan Yew is credited with founding Singapore, as is well known. He was one of the 20th century's most prominent leaders and lived to the respectable age of 91. This Singaporean politician, also known as LKY, was powerful, smart, and had an amazing vision for what Singapore could accomplish. With his authoritarian-like leadership style, he helped millions of people escape poverty. To get Singapore to where it is today, he put in place some rather strict rules and regulations, but as he famously observed, "I'm often accused of interfering in the private lives of citizens, yet if I had not done that, we wouldn't be here today. We would not have made economic progress if we had not intervened in very personal matters." Number 2. Doing business in Singapore is not challenging. One of LKY's key areas of concentration was the ease of doing business. When the government made it nearly hard to conduct successful commerce, he didn't want commercial interests to consider Singapore before moving elsewhere. Singapore is a profitable alternative because there is far less red tape when it comes to business than in other nations. Joshua Kurlantzick, a fellow for Southeast Asia at the Council on Foreign Relations, verified by saying they have very free trade, very low tariffs, and very few non-tariff barriers. They'll boast about how you can start your own company in Singapore in 3 hours. Number 3. Laws are constant. Whether or not we have visited Singapore, we are all aware of the country's legislation against chewing bubblegum. The thing about Singapore is that once a regulation is put in place, it cannot be changed until it is more in accordance with what you would like to do. Because of this, citizens respect and adhere to the norm, which is another reason why business interactions are successful there. Investors can feel confident in making investments in Singapore because the law doesn't change frequently. Number 4. Meritocracy. There are 3 words often used to describe Singapore: meritocracy, pragmatism, and honesty, and we believe each one needs clarity. If every country in the world took the word meritocracy to heart, we would see huge improvements in leadership. It means a country that picks the best person for the job and not friends or family who are unqualified. Of late, the term has had negative connotations in Singapore, as StraitsTimes.com reported in the last few years. Meritocracy in Singapore has taken a negative overtone due to its association with elitism, and there has been an ongoing debate over social inequality and stratification in society. However, Education Minister Ong Ye Kung says the idea will still be a key factor when recognizing individuals in Singapore. Number 5. Pragmatism. LKY was identified as pragmatic. He stated that he was prepared to examine the issue and say, "Alright, what's the best way to solve this that will produce maximum happiness and well-being for the maximum number of people?" Singapore's leadership is the antithesis of cronyism, and it benefits the majority of its inhabitants. This attitude is uncommon in leaders who frequently act in the best interests of themselves and their demands. Number 6. Honesty. When was the last time an honest government was mentioned in the news? Singapore faced challenges from crime, corruption, and instability. When it came to corruption, the government was steadfast and intolerant. No one is above the law in Singapore, and those who have engaged in crime or corruption have faced prompt, severe, and public punishment. Singapore received the following ratings: the least corrupt nation in Asia in terms of political and economic risk, according to consultancy's 2017 report on corruption in Asia, and the 4th for the lack of corruption, ranking 6 out of 180 nations in transparency. Number 7. Religion doesn't drive politics. The majority of Singaporeans, or about 70% of them, say their faith affects how they live their daily lives. But when it comes to politics, economic development takes precedence over religion. The Maintenance of Religious Harmony Act, which Singapore introduced, explains the government's support for a formal separation between religion and politics. According to the legislation, if religious organizations enter politics or if political parties appeal to religious sentiments to win support, the social fabric of Singapore will be harmed. The law advises religious leaders to refrain from openly inciting their followers to reject the government or using their position of influence to influence them. Number 8. Singapore welcomes and accepts all races and religions. Singapore is a multicultural center where people of different racial and religious backgrounds coexist together. As described as an area where cultures come together, according to National Geographic, is a vibrant fusion of Chinese, Malay, Indian, and several other ethnic groups. There are also ethnic enclaves including Little India, Kampong Glam, Butong, Joo Chiat, and Chinatown. According to a report on visitingsingapore.com, although most Singaporeans still speak the mother tongues of different ethnic groups, we are not divided by them. Number 9. Their education system is one of the best in the world. According to the OECD's Program for International Student Assessment, the University of Singapore is regarded as Asia's top university and boasts the highest achieving students worldwide. Singapore's outstanding educational system is a result of its forward-thinking culture. We already said that LKY had an excellent vision and that one of his core convictions was that if one educates children, they grow up to be great leaders and it serves the country in so many ways. So they invest heavily in their educational system. Practical skills and problem solving are taught to the students. The nation also implemented a teach less, learn more technique that has helped teachers concentrate more on quality than quantity. Number 10. Transportation is affordable and works efficiently. It's crucial to be able to go from point A to point B quickly and affordably in any metropolis. According to Transport Geography's description, when transport systems are efficient, they provide economic and social opportunities and benefits that result in positive multiplier effects such as better accessibility to market, employment, and additional investments. When transport systems are deficient in terms of capacity or reliability, they can have economic costs such as reduced or missed opportunities and lower quality of life. In Singapore, transportation is really simple. Comparing Singapore to 24 major cities around the world, consulting firm McKinsey found that Singapore had one of the best and most reasonably priced public transportation networks. And that's all for today's video. What do you think about these moves Singaporeans are doing? Do you agree with all of it, or do you disagree with some? Let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoy everything luxurious, check out our other videos. And if you like them, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Thanks for watching. Until our next video, see you then.